Hi, welcome to today's video. You might hear my watch going off every now and again today, just for time's sake. I want to try and keep this to an hour, and also today is going to be a combination of vinyasa with yin. So when we get to the yin portion, I want to be able to time our postures, so as we're working the body, we're good on time and nice and even. That being said, welcome. Today we are going to start our practice on our backs. It's one of my favorite ways to start practice because there are so many options. So I'm asking you to either have a block or a blanket handy. Props I think are always awesome. Make your way onto your back, please. So either feet together, knees apart, or feet apart and our knees gently fall in towards one another. Or you can extend one leg long and take the other leg out to the side, our fallen tree pose. So please take whichever one feels best to you. And if you are doing one side, I will let you know when we are halfway through. So you don't have to worry about, gosh, am I going to be even on both sides? But one of the reasons I really like to start, so hopefully you're on your back. I'm not going to be on my back for this part. One of the reasons I really like starting our practice on our backs is that it's a really good sense of feeling grounded and supported. So whether you choose to have your arms out wide or a hand on your tummy, a hand on your heart, and feel you connecting with you. We lose our connection with ourselves all the time. We seem to be constantly in our heads. And sometimes it's overwhelming. So just a very simple mantra of inhale, exhale, as you silently say that to yourself, and try to draw your awareness into your breath. That is the most important part of our practice. As I said, I will cue you when we're halfway through. We're not quite there yet. I would like you to feel free to switch up anything, so you're halfway through. You have another minute and a half just to allow for you to be still, to maybe soften in areas of your body where you're feeling like you're holding on and gripping. It might be those subtle areas of fingers and toes. It also might be areas of jaw, clenching your teeth. Another beautiful minute here. Long, slow inhales. And the same with our exhales. All right, let's please take one more nice long breath. And then whichever posture you have chosen, please gently and slowly, one knee at a time, hug your knees to your chest. You've got options of rocking side to side, circling your low back, whatever you would like. Squeeze in, maybe drawing nose to your knees. All right, let's take a gentle twist. Arms go out wide, shift your hips gently to the left. Knees ease over to the right. Try to soften down through your chest and shoulders. One more deep breath. Let's bring ourselves back to center. Squeeze in, kind of neutralizing our spine, maybe nose to knees. Relax back, hips go to the right, gently legs over to the left. Try and keep your eyes closed because there's no reason to have them open at the moment. Let's come back to our center. Curl in. Maybe nose up towards our knees. Plant your feet down about hip width distance or maybe wider apart. Arms down to your side for 3 rolling bridges. So inhale or exhale as your hips lift, arms come over our head, backs of our hands touch down. Exhale, lower your hips down, arms back down to our sides. Do that 2 more times. Follow your breath up and follow your breath down. Connecting to our breath. 1 more time. Let's go ahead here and take one of my favorite low back stretches. So let your arms come out wide. Feet plant off of your mat. Drop your knees over to the left. Let's go left. Gently press your right knee down and your left knee up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. You can also take your left foot to the outer edge of your right thigh if you would like. That's not a have to. Nice, gentle release of your low back. And let's slowly take it over to the other side. Again, this side might feel different than the other. Relaxing fingers and toes. All right, take it on back to center. Hug your knees to your chest. You've got several options here. Grasping behind your knees, then rock up and roll back. Or you can just roll to your side and come up. We are going to meet on our hands and knees. Okay, here's where once we do come onto our hands and knees, I really like that cushion for my knees. Okay, so let's take a deep inhale. Come into a cow pose and stay. This is a gentle back bend, but the strongest ligament we have in our body is right on the front side of our spine. So let's hope you feel a nice stretch on the front side of your spine. When you're ready, let's exhale and slowly round in. And let's stay here for a moment, pressing our spine gently up towards the ceiling. Let your head drop down. Okay, so I want you just to move your spine however you would like. Whether it's staying on your hands and knees or sliding your hips back for a moment or coming out into a seal pose, letting our thighs rest down, or an up dog, thighs lift nice and strong. It's your spine. I just want you to take some time to add movements of your own. Now, because we are on our hands and we're kind of on our wrists quite a bit sometimes, you might want to take a moment and turn your fingers towards your knees. Stretch through that forearm area, or maybe even turn the back of a hand down for a moment. All right, let's come back to a neutral spine. So we're going to meet in a high plank. So let's take a moment, shoulders away from our ears, and feel that strength of our arms, our chest, and our upper back. Then take one leg back at a time. Remember, you can always be on your knees. Kind of awesome. What I want you to do here is not holding our breath. Our breath should stay slow and steady. And lower all the way to your tummy. For some rolling cobras, so I like to bring my fingertips out, bending my elbows, reach legs back nice and strong. 5 of these. So on an inhale or exhale, come up and slowly lower back down. I really want you to experiment with your own breath. So you can inhale up or exhale up. Let's do 5 of these. So I've got 3 more. And if you're already done with 5 or 5 was too many, totally fine. When you are done, please rest down. I like to rest my head on the backs of my hands and turn my head to one side. A nice rotation of the cervical spine if you choose, and rotate to the other side. All right, maybe your head is straight down. Take a few moments and rock your hips. You can swish your lower legs. We're gonna meet in down dog. So I like to pass through hands and knees and establish that strength first. Then toes face forward, take a deep inhale. Big exhale, down dog. Shoulders are easing away from our ears. You can certainly bend your elbows if that's more comfortable. I like to take my hands nice and wide, and you can pedal out your legs. No down dog is the same. How could it possibly be? Because we are all shaped so differently. All right, let's find some stillness in our down dog. Take a deep breath. Nice and slow. Let's inhale our right leg high behind us. Take it through to your low lunge. Touch your back knee down, another nice reason for a blanket, and slide your hips back. So this is our half split variation. I like to move my front foot, point flex, turn it in, turn it out. Nice stretch along the back side of my front leg. You might even feel it in your low back, which I am today. So give it one more breath. And I'd like you to come back forward, touch your left hand down, twist open to the right. Your back knee can stay down or lifted, totally up to you. And I like to do some wrist rolls here. Getting some blood flow to that wrist joint. All right, let's bring our right hand down 2 times. Take an inhale, press your heart forward, lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, straighten your front leg and gently bow. 2 more times, inhaling to our low lunge. Exhaling to straighten and bow. Take it back to your low lunge. Plant your hands, step it back, slow, high plank. Keep the back of your neck long. We don't want our head just kind of hanging out here. Take an inhale. Exhale, down dog. Same thing, other side. Inhaling, left leg lifts. Slow, long exhale, low lunge. Touch your back knee down, slide your hips back. So again, you can create some movement of your own here. Nothing says you have to stay still. One more breath. Back forward to our low lunge. Right hand stays down, twist open to the left. Right knee can stay down or lifted. Wrist rolls. Let's bring that left hand down 2 times. Inhale. Exhale, straighten and bow over your front leg. One more time. Pace of your breath might not match mine, right? Coming back to our low lunge. Hands plant, high plank. Right from here, we're going to lower all the way to our tummy and extend your arms out in front of you. So working the body asymmetrically is important here. It's good for our mind, it's good for our body. So what I want you to do is lift your right arm and your left leg. Like you're reaching through those right fingertips, but pull your right shoulder back, and you're reaching back through your left toes. Please lower down and switch sides. An asymmetrical back bend. How often do we get to do this? Lower down, head can come to the back of your hands. Move things around a little bit. We're going to meet back in down dog. All right, coming into your down dog here, please take a deep breath. And you're going to slowly walk your feet to your hands, coming to the top of your mat-ish. You can have blocks for your hands to rest upon, or you can take a bind, grasping opposite elbows. Please let your head relax down, and you can create some movement, but I really want you to feel your feet here. Feel a nice evenness in the soles of your feet. All right, if you took a bind, please release your hands down. Take an inhale, half lift, beautiful long spine. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, inhale, half lift. Exhale, let it go. Take a slight bend to your knees. Please reach all the way up. Really big inhalation. Bring your hands into your heart center and hold. Close your eyes. Feel your feet. Making sure there's just a slight bend in your knees. In other words, we don't want our knees pressing back. All right, we're gonna take a side stretch. So inhale, reach your arms up. Let's bring our right arm down, reach up and over, side stretch to the right. Follow your inhale, center, side stretch over to the left. Come back to your center. Let's take a little back bend. Bend your elbows, lift your heart up. Back to center, palms touch. As our hands come into heart center, slide your hips back for chair pose. So take a look down at your toes, right? Our knees are back behind our toes, so wiggle those toes around a little bit. Take an inhale. With an exhale, twist to the right. Back to center, to the left. One more time, each side. Follow your breath. All right, let's bring it back to center. Inhale, reach up high. Let's take another back bend. Exhale, open up. Backing up to center, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Reach all the way up high to the ceiling, really moving our spine. Side stretch, right arm goes down. Side stretch to the right. Back to center, to the left. Back to center as our palms touch. Hands come into our heart. So every day we should practice some balance. We're going to do so right now. Strong right leg. Let's first of all meet in chair pose. So let's bring our left foot up and over. So I want you to keep your left foot flexed and slide your hips back. Your right knee is behind your right toes. Now, I'm wobbling all over the place because my gaze is going everywhere. So find one point to hold your gaze steady. Every day is different. This is why we need to balance every day. It's never like we're gonna nail it and perfect it. Okay, back to our chair pose. And cross your right ankle over. So we want to keep that lifted foot flexed because it protects the knee that's in this precarious position out to the side, right? Knee joints are super great, and we want to protect them. All right, back to chair pose. Stand all the way tall, reach your fingertips up, exhale to a back bend. Back to center, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And let's plant our hands, nice, strong, high plank. Remember, you have your awesome knees as props. You can move through a flow if you're choosing to do so today. I'm not going to cue it. We're going to meet in down dog. So if you're staying in high plank, deep inhale. Exhale, down dog. All right, let's inhale our right leg high. Bring it through, low lunge. Back knee touches down. Slide your hips back. Come back to your low lunge. Left hand stays down. Twist open to the right. Touch those right fingertips down. Inhale, press that heart forward. Exhale, straighten and bow over your front leg. Okay, back to our low lunge. We're going to come into grounded warrior. So we're going to start to shift our energy forward as we lift our left leg high. We're going to stay here because you have options. Hands can come to blocks. You can walk your hands closer towards your right ankle for a standing split variation. One more breath. We're going to meet back in that low lunge, so bending our front knee, left leg goes long behind us. Plant your hands, high plank. We will meet in down dog. Once you have found yourself in down dog, take another beautiful deep breath. Left leg lifts behind us, through to a low lunge. Back knee touches down and slides your hips back. Come back forward. Right hand stays down, twist to the left. Left hand comes down, take an inhale, stay. Exhale, straighten and bow. Back to your low lunge and coming forward into that grounded warrior. So starting to slowly shift forward, lifting our right leg up. It's not about how high we can lift it. Trying to keep our hips level. So bringing that right hip slightly more in line with the left. Take another really nice breath. Back to your low lunge. Hands plant, high plank. Take a moment here. Again, eyes closed, a little smile on your face. One more breath. Child's pose. So you take your knees nice and wide. Slowly slide your hips back. Goodness sakes, there are so many options here. Arms can stretch out. Maybe palms touch. Take your hands over your head. All right, if you chose any other variation of child's pose other than having your arms stretched out, stretch your arms back out long, and we're going to take that lateral side stretch. So walk your arms and your torso over to the right. I like to slide my right hand back towards my knee and really stretch my left fingertips forward, getting that nice side stretch. Nice long breath. And let's gently walk to the other side. So let yourself be in that transition. All right. Come back to center, slide out onto your tummies. Locust posture, so your arms can be wherever the heck you'd like. They can be out front, to the sides, back behind you, or interlace at your low back. Legs do not have to be zipped up tight. It's usually more comfortable for your hips and low back to let your legs part. Take an inhale or exhale, please lift up. Little squeeze of the shoulder blades. Keep the back of your neck long. There's no need to completely look forward. Keeping the back of our neck long. Give it one more deep breath. Relax. Arms can be down by your sides. But like I said, I like to rest my head on the backs of my hands. Just let everything soften. If your head is turned to one side, beautiful slow rotation to the other side. All right, you can give yourself a little rock of your hips, a little swish of your lower legs. All right, we're going to meet on our hands and knees. So, again, because we're going to be here briefly, or maybe not so briefly, maybe a little cushion for your knees. It's always good to work the body asymmetrically. So let's first press our left leg back behind us. Toes are pointed down and kind of rotate your thigh towards the floor, keeping your hips somewhat level with one another. And I want you to actively press through the sole of your left foot like you're trying to press into a wall if you're not actually pressing to a wall. Pressing into a wall, just imagine that. And then I want you to slowly, maybe with your eyes closed, extend your right arm. So crossing our midline 3 times through. Let's take an inhale, stretch. Exhale, curl in. Our elbow goes to the outer edge of our knee, and our knee comes across our midline. 2 more times, nice and slow to the inhale, stretch. To the exhale, curl in. Give it one more. Stretch, reach, pause, and hold. Place your right hand down, keep your left leg lifted. And we're going to turn so the outer edge of our back foot is parallel to the ceiling. So that left hip is going to turn out a little bit. And press, press, press back through the sole of your foot, really strengthening the outer hip. Just one more breath. Come back onto your hands and knees. Before we move to the other side, take some movements of your own. Again, that might be bringing the back of one hand down for a moment. Fingers towards the knees for a moment. All right, other side, smile. Right leg, slow, 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 press it back. Again, like you are pressing into a wall. Feeling that strength of some gluteal muscles here. If your eyes are open, please find one focal point and slowly extend your left arm. Please take this at your pace. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, curl in. Again, elbow to the outer edge of your right knee. Knee crosses over your midline. 2 more times. Once you're done, stretch. There's no hurry, remember. Bring that left hand down. Turn the outer edge of your back foot parallel to the ceiling and press back. All right, let's bring that right knee down. Take an inhale. Exhale to down dog. Full breath here. Bring our feet to our hands, top of our mat, forward fold. Take an inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep up high, big inhale. Allowing the palms to touch above our heads, hands come into our heart center for tree pose. So, please, a nice strong right leg. Feel that strengthen, that's your foundation. Now find a focal point, one thing to focus your gaze upon, and let's slowly start to lift our left toes off. Balance is different every day. So, left toes touching down, inner calf or inner thigh. Please bypass your knee joint entirely. Only if you're feeling steady in your foundation today. You can even feel like the little muscles of your foot and your ankle kind of moving around, little fine, fiery twitches to find your balance. Then, perhaps grow branches. Branches can be symmetrical, asymmetrical, moving. So many options. You can close your eyes, lift your gaze. Please take one more deep breath. All right, branches back in. Let your left foot touch down to release. Separate your feet, mat width distance apart. Hands can interlace behind you, or if you have a belt or a strap, if that's better for your shoulders, cool. Take an inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, narrow prasarita, narrow forward fold. Again, this is not about how far your hands or your arms can come over your head. If it doesn't feel good, let it go, please. Let's take one more deep breath. Hands come to your low back gently if you took that bind, and then down towards the floor. Take an inhale to a soft half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweeping up high, big inhale. Once again, allowing our palms to touch, hands draw into heart center. Bring your feet back together. They don't need to touch, that's not a big deal. Tree pose on the other side. Foundation, left foot, left leg. That's like the roots and the trunk. And then slowly, first find your drishti, your point of focus. Right foot comes up. Bypass the knee joint, please. I know it kind of feels like a little glove. That's where your foot wants to go, but your knee does not like that lateral pressure of any kind. Maybe something a little different on this side. Your balance might feel way different on this side. You want to avoid pressing your knee joint back. Let's take one more deep breath. And release, touching that right foot down. Take your hands into your heart center. A little smile on your face. Close your eyes. Deep, deep breath. Sweep up high, big inhale. Let's take that back bend, open up. Back to center, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your hands, step back to your high plank. Last high plank here. Come down onto your knees. So we're gonna thread that needle. When you're ready, inhale, right arm goes high. Again, you can take a little wrist roll. Exhale, thread it through. And let your head rest down. We're not gonna be here that long. All right, let's slowly, one more breath. Sweep your right arm high, a gentle release. And plant your right hand down. Inhale, left arm goes high. Exhale, thread it through, please. One more nice long breath. And a release. Left arm can go high. And touch down. Just take a few moments here. Nice vinyasa movement, nice movement of your body. Hopefully things feel just a little bit more, I don't know, fluid is the best word for me anyway. So we're gonna come into our yin postures. I want you to settle into a seated position. And as I do like to say, props are lovely enhancements to your practice. They are not a need, they are not a crutch by any stretch of the imagination. So for me personally, we're gonna move into half butterfly or half frog pose. So hopefully I'm kind of back far enough for a visual. So I'm gonna ask you to extend your right leg out in front of you. I like to sit on the edge of a blanket, so when I scoot my sits bones back, those little bony protrusions that you sit upon, you want your hips to be having a gentle tilt forward. You relax that right leg. So again, we're gonna be settling into these postures 3 minutes per or so. Your left leg can be in, sole of your left foot in. You can also rest that knee on a block or a blanket. I prefer to turn my leg the other way around. It just feels better on my knee joint and on my hip. So this is half butterfly or frog pose. I'm in half frog pose because I turn my leg around. So timing this for 3 minutes. And I want you just to feel yourself slowly softening. So here's the thing. The function of this posture is primarily the stretch in the back of your right leg. That might mean blocks to rest your forearms on. If you even go any further than this, that might be a block to rest your head on. You might also really feel this posture. Maybe it's a nice stretch, like today it's a nice stretch on the left side of my spine. And you're just really honestly feeling like you're melting into this. You're softening where you can. If something becomes too much, you back off. So it's settling and now moving a little bit more or a lot of it more into the connective tissue, which encompasses like everything in your body, every muscle fiber, every organ. I mean, I could go on, as some of you know, I could go on. You have at least another minute and a half, slightly over. So I think my teacher really puts it the most succinctly. I'm lucky enough to have my teacher be the founder of Yin Yoga, and beautifully said, a posture is either effective, you're feeling it in the target area, which is primarily the back of your right leg, no strain in the back of your right knee. Remember, you can put a blanket or a towel underneath there. Ineffective, you're not feeling it at all, in which case you might need to shift and move yourself. Maybe you reach a little bit further, maybe you go a little bit further. Or injurious, and we never want to move towards injury, right? Injury just leads to recovery. So effective, target area. Ineffective, not feeling it in the target area. Injurious, you've moved towards pain. And guess what? You have about 45 seconds left. You are the only one that knows what you are feeling. You know best. No one else knows as well as you do what you are feeling, but we never move towards pain. Long, slow, deep breaths, eyes closed, wherever you are feeling this particular posture. Maybe it's a decent stretch today in the back of your right leg. Send your attention, your breath, your awareness to where you are feeling it. All right, let's take one more deep breath. Because your spine is this beautiful, very heavy structure, I'd like you to plant your hands down. Your head travels up last. Walk your spine back upright. You take it one step at a time. I personally like to help myself out. Straightening out my left leg, close your eyes, lean back on your hands, relax. Feel the rebound effect of this posture. How different does your right leg feel from your left leg or the left side of your spine? Just feel the difference. All right, maybe you can do this with your eyes closed as you switch to the other side. So as you just bring yourself back forward, left leg extends, soften that leg. Scoot your sits bones back and forward fold. We want that pelvic tilt going forward. Right leg can come in for half butterfly pose, or you can flip it around the other way for half frog pose. Very different dynamics on the hip. You've got 3 minutes. I so encourage you to go slow. Like today, I tilt forward, and I'm already feeling it in my hamstrings. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna be like, okay, can I soften a little bit? Maybe relax my head a little bit and see if that sensation eases off. If it does ease off, then maybe I can go just a little bit further. If it doesn't ease off, stay right where you are. These sensations should ebb and flow, ebb and flow. Still have plenty of time, and you decide because you know what is best. As you move into the second half of this posture on this side, where can you let go just a little bit more? Can you soften in between your shoulder blades? Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Soften through your neck, your chest, your shoulders. Remember, please, as I tell you, you have a little bit time left in this posture. Nothing says you need to stay in the posture. If it is no longer serving you, you need to let it go. Otherwise, you have a few more deep breaths. But even if you've left the posture, the breath, the breath, the breath, most important part. All right, let's take one more nice breath. Slow release. And maybe help yourself out. Stillness to feel that rebound effect. Maybe your legs are straightened out in front of you. I think it's always kind of nice to move the ankle joints. Move them around a little bit. Maybe point flex. All right, we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. I will briefly demonstrate full saddle pose because there are some of us who like full saddle pose as a back bend, but Sphinx pose, blanket, blocks. Remember, you've got towels and books and things like that at home. So I like a bolster or some blankets rolled up behind me. So Sphinx pose, target area, lumbar curve, the one that we're so great at taking out, right? So you sink down, relax your chest and shoulders. I really personally love a block for my head here. Remember, if you're really not feeling that compression, not pinching, but compression in your low back, you can always press up into a seal pose, but you want to be able to relax your spine here. So compression, not pinching. Now, please, 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 as I quickly demonstrate full saddle pose encompasses a lot of joint systems. Never think that this is like, okay, well, this is what I'm working towards, because it's not. Today, I'm going to put a bolster behind me and sit hips in between my heels. You can also sit on your feet and lower back. Like I said, it is encompassing a lot of joint systems. So if in the target area is your low back. So if you're, that's where I really want you to feel it. I do know in full saddle pose, we are really feeling it, like maybe in ankles, knees, hips, low back, the whole shebang. So assuming your position, I have started the timer. Okay, so here's my little connective tissue lecture as you assume the position. First and foremost, I love my head on a block, so I can roll my head back and forth and really feel that nice release of tension right along the brow line, just kind of delicious. Here's the thing. Many of us have heard of muscle memory. We need to also think of that as connective tissue memory. In other words, the more we practice, the more we have a memory of where we've been. It's very true that, you know, if, like, say you don't play a sport, let's go with golf. You're never going to get better at it if you don't practice it, right? Practice makes practice. Practice does not make perfect. But with our connective tissue, the more we allow ourselves to create that fluidity within our connective tissue, the more easily we will reside in any of these yin postures. I guess another way to say it is if you only practice yin yoga every once in a while, you're always going to be kind of starting over, if you will. So there's never an exact science as to how many times should I do yin yoga a week versus you. And so it's not an exact science, but it is more of that if you don't practice, you know, probably I would say for most of us, at least 2, 3, 4 times a week, some of these postures. That doesn't mean it has to be a full-on yin practice every day. But we need to get more into our connective tissue. Let's face it, the best way it was ever put, and just letting you know, you've got about 45 seconds left in this posture. The best way I think it's ever been put to me anyway, is that it's like your interior scaffolding. And if you were to remove everything in your body, with the exception of your connective tissue, it would still hold your three-dimensional shape. It's everywhere. So why wouldn't we have to take care of it? Let's take a few more nice deep breaths here, whichever posture you've chosen. Now, if you're in Sphinx pose, pretty easy to release. You just slowly lower down and rest. If you're in saddle pose, just take your time coming up. Maybe you engage some core muscles and very gently come up. And then extend one leg and then the other. It is a slow motion release. All I ask is that you spend the next few moments completely resting and being still. All right, like you slowly make your way up to a seated position. Some of you who are familiar with me know that I really do like to give at least 2 variations of every posture. I know for time's sake it is really hard to do, and this, I'm trying to keep it at an hour. So groin stretch, there are several. For some people, again, it's going to be a forward fold unless you're going legs up the wall, legs open, which is fine. I'm not going to demonstrate that. But if you're coming into a seated forward fold, sitting on the edge of a blanket, it might be butterfly pose, feet together, knees apart, maybe blocks to support the outer thighs, and come forward. I personally feel this posture all in my low back, but for some people this is an excellent inner thigh groin stretch, which is the target area. The other beautiful one is wide leg seated forward fold. Taking your legs out nice and wide, and again, you've got all these ways to use props. Maybe you take a few rolled up blankets if it's not a bolster. And all you're doing here is bringing the floor up to you. The floor up, meeting you, that's it. To come into this posture. You want to let your legs relax. So those are 2 options. You can do the lying down butterfly, how you may have started our practice, on your back, feet together, knees apart. That's all I can say. Inner thigh, groin area is the target. So here's the thing I'm going to say about this posture. We don't want to feel it. So you're already in the posture. I've already started my timer. Here's the thing. We don't want to feel this posture directly on the inner knee area. It's inner thigh and into the groin. When we feel it directly in the area above and below the inner knee, we're working too much into the tendinous part of the of 2 of the inner thigh muscles. There's 5 inner thigh muscles on each side. So not to mention the groin area. A lot going on in this posture. So we never move towards a place of intensity. So it's always my recommendation to, right when you start to feel a stretch, you stop. I myself get into my head so much of the time. It's like, I gotta go further. I gotta go deeper. I know I can go deeper. No. Slow it down. Let your connective tissue and the energy, the lines of energy, open up to you instead of a forced situation. You still have a good minute and a half. Please allow one more nice, beautiful breath right where you are. It is perfect. And like as with any posture, the way I like to cue it is slowly we bring ourselves out. Now I highly recommend you treat yourself gently. Pick up one leg and bring it in. And then pick up the other leg and bring it in. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is just to help yourself out. Be still, relax. Inner thigh and groin area often get tight for not only just physical reasons, but for emotional reasons as well. Okay, I'm going to cue the twisted root posture, which is a lying down supine twist. I know there are other options, but okay, here's the thing. So I am going to put a blanket on my right side, and I might even carry a block with me, and I'm gonna lie down. And I'm gonna cross my left leg over my right. I'm gonna lift my legs up gently, shift my hips slightly to the left, and take my legs over to the right. Now today the blanket's not enough, so I'm gonna use the block underneath my lower legs. So function is the twist, but with your legs crossed, you might feel it on that left outer hip area. Sometimes it's nice to put my right hand on my left knee, just as a grounding mechanism. So come into your twist as I start the timer. Now, this is not a have to cross your legs. Once you get your left leg crossed over your right, if you're like, oh, that's too much, then uncross your legs. You can put your legs however you want. What you want is your chest and shoulders to relax. So if that left shoulder is really lifting up, maybe we slide a blanket underneath that left shoulder, or uncross your legs and put them in another position so you can relax that left shoulder down. So your timer has already been started, and I just want you to take your time to come into your twist. So the thing I really like to think about here is the spine, right? As you twist your spine, it should be a gentle rinsing of your spine. So nothing should feel aggressive or like you are holding yourself in the twist. That's not the point. The point is, can you relax, and then can you soften your insides so your internal organs can get a nice twist too, which is also super awesome to happen. Take your time, breathing slow, breathing deep. I guess it's the mothering part of me. You have about another 20 seconds. And the bones of our legs are, especially the thigh bone, the femur bone, is the heaviest bone in your body. So I say this because as you slowly are going to start to release from this posture, my suggestion is this. Either uncross your legs first and then make your way onto your back, or slowly roll onto your right side, then uncross your legs. It's kind of really lovely to go slow here, so we're not abruptly releasing from a 3-minute hold. So go ahead and slowly release from your posture and make your way onto your back. And please just allow yourself to pause for a few moments, just in complete stillness. Just complete stillness. I know some of us really enjoy the movement. If you want to hug your knees into your chest, if you want to just not rush to the other side. And let's keep in mind as we do these asymmetrical postures, so gently making your way to the other side. So it's a crossing of our right leg over our left, shifting our hips gently to the right, legs drop over to the left. Feeling if you need a little bit or want a little support there, or uncross your legs entirely. Like I said earlier, the function of this posture is twofold. It's the twisting of the spine, but you might also be feeling it now at this point in time on the right outer hip area. Preferably, you are starting to slowly feel your connective tissue gently opening up, or I should say, becoming more fluid, because that's what's important here, is the fluidity of your connective tissue. Again, I really have a tendency to go into the science, but in the anatomy, we have this amazing molecule in our connective tissue called hyaluronic acid, and it is a moisture attracting molecule. And it's amazing, but again, if we allow ourselves to be stiff and tight, we will start to feel the loss of that moisture within the connective tissue. It is up to us to create it. And we don't just create it with yin yoga, right? We do create it with other movement that we do. That's the beautiful combination of the yin and the yang. You cannot separate the muscular structure from the connective tissue structure. They are intimately connected. So I'm not here to say that only yin yoga affects the connective tissue. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that when we allow ourselves to be still, there's so many magical things that can happen, and we're targeting joint systems and connective tissue with yin yoga. That is not to say that's the only part of our body, only part of our being that is being affected through our practice. You have about another minute. One more beautiful breath. Try to be in that breath. Feel the energeticness of, if that's a word, of the inhale, and appreciate the exhale. Again, whether choosing to move slowly back onto your back or roll onto your left side, entirely up to you. All I ask you to do is please, please, please allow yourself a pause. We're going to make our way onto our backs in Shavasana, in our corpse pose. So I do enjoy elevating my lower legs, definitely feeling the support of the knees. Even though my knees aren't on the support, they feel supported. and go ahead and make your way onto your back. Arms can just spread out away from you. It can be really nice here for the nervous system before you completely let go, and sometimes even more accessible to let go, is to tighten and tense up everything in your body and then let it go. I will call you out when it is time. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. There's the point I would like to say that if you are resting in Shavasana and you wish to stay there, please just pause this video, let it go, and stay in your Shavasana. If you are moving out of your practice here, I'd like you to take a few moments with your eyes closed and appreciate the fact that you can maybe curl toes and spread them wide, fingers open and close, moving those subtle overused joint systems of our wrists and our ankles, perhaps a full body stretch. If you can, try to do all of this with your eyes closed or at least very heavy. As you roll to your side and make your way up to a seated position, does not have to be seated in cross-legged or easy pose. It can be in hero's pose. It can be in a chair. If you're in your practice in Shavasana or lying down pose, beautiful. All I want you to do is spend these few more beautiful moments connecting with yourself. We have to connect with ourselves in order to more profoundly connect with others. Let's draw our hands into a heart center. Shoulders very gently ease back and down. Feel that lift in the heart space, that space behind the heart or in between the shoulder blades. Chin stays in a neutral position. Relax your tummy. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, let it go. At your own pace, breath in. Let it go. One more, please. As you gently close your mouth, relax the muscles around your mouth and turn the corners of your mouth slightly up. Whether you choose to keep your thumbs at heart center or draw them up to your third eye center, I'd love for you to give yourself a moment of thanks for your practice. You took the time, you made the effort, so thank yourself. Thank you as always for allowing me to guide you through your practice. And as I say namaste and I take a bow to you, namaste is more than I see the light in you, the teacher in you. It says basically, very simply but very deeply, I see you. So thank you for your time. Namaste.